Refactoring without downtime. Terraform tracks infrastructure by resource address, not by position of the code on your screen. When you rename a resource block or move it into a module, the address changes even if the real cloud object should stay the same. Terraform's default interpretation of an address change is old object removed, new object required. The mood block changes that interpretation by telling Terraform to remap state from the old address to the new address before it plans actions. That is the mechanism that prevents an unnecessary destroy and create cycle during a refactor. A simple rename is not simple to Terraform unless you declare intent. Changing AWS SSN parameter .appconfig to primary config creates a new address in configuration. Without a state remap, Terraform sees one address disappear and another appear. The outcome is a plan that can replace an object that never needed replacement. The real lesson is that refactoring code structure is also a state operation. The move block declares the old address and the new address. Before Terraform plans the target object, it checks state for the source address and renames that state entry to the destination address. The outcome is continuity of ownership inside Terraform's state graph. Terraform now understands that this is the same parameter under a new label, so the refactor avoids destruction during the run. This is why moved is the primary no downtime tool for resource and module refactors inside one state file. Moving a resource into a child module changes its full address, even when the underlying AWS object stays identical. The mechanism is the same. Remap the old root address to the new module address. The outcome is that you can improve code organization without forcing a replacement of the object being managed. Official HashiCorp guidance explicitly uses mood blocks for renames, resource moves, and module call renames, and other refactors of tracked addresses. A mood block prevents replacement caused by an address change. It does not override replacement caused by a real provider level argument change. If you refactor the label and also change a forced new attribute, downtime risk returns because the provider may require a new object. The outcome is a critical boundary. Mood preserves identity and state, but it does not make destructive infrastructure mutations safe. Refactoring without downtime works only when the refactor is logical, not when it also changes physical resource identity. This is the beginner misconception that causes the most damage. HashiCorp recommends retaining mood blocks as a record of refactor history, and removing them later is a breaking change. That record matters because future plans still need to understand how old addresses map to current ones. The outcome is safe long-term maintenance, especially when teammates pull older branches or when modules evolve across versions. A mood block is not decoration. It is part of the migration contract of the configuration. Refactoring inside one state file uses moved. Moving resources between different state files is a different operation. Current HashiCorp guidance recommends configuration-driven remove plus import blocks for many state-to-state migrations, While Terraform state moved is documented as a legacy command for that purpose. The outcome is a clean decision rule. Use moved for address change inside one state lineage, and use state migration patterns when ownership must cross state boundaries.